Let the magic begin.
Not a place on the map, but a state of mind that exists wherever people dream and wonder and imagine.
It's not so much a theme park as a state of mind, a Hollywood that never was and will always be.
Ready when you are, CB!
This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please hit the like button and subscribe for more from all of the Disney theme parks around the world. But here now the news for April 22nd, 2024, Earth Day, and also the 26th anniversary of Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. Before we get to the news, obviously I'm filling in. I'm not back yet, but I will be back in a couple days. I'll actually be in California first covering Pixar Fest. We have a media invite from Disney, so we'll be covering all that cool new stuff there, including a new parade. And then I, of course, will be back in Florida because Stage 89 is happening, the 35th anniversary of Disney's Hollywood Studios. Still don't know officially what Disney is doing at this point, if anything, but I do know you go to stage89.com to see what we're doing. Streaming tickets are still available. They're $19.89. All of that money goes to Give Kids the World Village, a tremendous, tremendous cause. And of course, we still have in-person tickets too. You can buy the full package for $300. It is discounted if you're a Wigs member. That's patreon.com/WDWNT if you want to join that. That includes everything. With that, you get to come to the interview I'm doing with Bob Weiss, former president of Walt Disney Imagineering, career retrospective at 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday, May 3rd. You get to come to the Mixer at 7:30 p.m. on Friday, May 3rd, where all of these Imagineers will be on hand to sign, autograph, all sorts of things, including the lithographs we're giving out at the event that are made exclusively for the event, and also anything you want to bring. And I mean, that we have their full list on the Stage 89 website. We have the full list of all the work they've done. You could bring anything from any of those projects. Hell, if you want to bring Mike West an Epic Universe t-shirt to sign, you certainly could. We're not going to stop you. And that also includes 2 full days of presentations from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday, where you are going to see art you've never seen before, models you've never seen before, and hear stories you've never heard before, from the creation of the Great Movie Ride, Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Muppet Vision 3D, Star Tours, and so much more. It is going to be the most incredible time. Now, if you can't do the whole package, we're selling lots of individual tickets. There's an individual ticket to the Bob Weiss interview for Wigs members only. There is an individual ticket to the meet and greet on Friday night, where you can get stuff signed and you get pictures with the Imagineers and ask them questions, all kinds of stuff like that. And now there are individual day tickets for May 4th and May 5th as well. So check it out at stage89.com. And also, I want to invite everyone, if you're coming to Hollywood Studios on May 1st, we do have a day that is free to attend as part of the event. We're just doing meetups at the parks, including a fun little scavenger hunt type game, some opportunity to take a group photo. Come meet us. I will be giving out something. At past anniversaries, I've given out a little something. We'll see what it is at this event. But on May 1st, you're welcome to come find us. The full schedule for May 1st are unofficial meetups at Disney's Hollywood Studios, again, at stage89.com. But let's get to the news, shall we? I'm doing this very unprofessionally. Jake gave me this whole setup with a teleprompter. I haven't figured it out yet. So when I go home this short visit, I will get that figured out. But let's talk about what we got in the news. Progress on the Prince Charming Regal Carrousel refurbishment continues at the Magic Kingdom as more horses have become unavailable to guests. On our previous visit to the attraction back in March, 1 row of horses was roped off and covered in tarps. Now 2 rows are out of service. The section made up of 10 horses is roped off on all 4 sides. The Fantasyland ride has remained open during the refurbishment. Moving up to the canopy, Scrim remains up as the painting that began in February continues. The painting appears to be a refresh with an application of a fresh coat of the same shades to brighten colors that have faded. And progress varies from panel to panel, with some looking nearly complete while others have just begun to be painted. We'll keep you in the loop as we know more about what's going on with the carousel. Meanwhile, over at Animal Kingdom, speaking of its anniversary and Earth Day, rare characters are appearing in Animal Kingdom for Earth Day and Earth Week, in fact. Kenai and Coda from Brother Bear are appearing on the flotillas. Guests can view the flotillas along the Discovery River. And Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde from Zootopia are meeting and greeting guests by the Tree of Life across from Creature Comforts. The special meet and greets will run April 21st through April 28th. In fact, I believe today Max and Goofy were spotted out. And Goofy is in his old Camp Mini Mickey outfit. But it seems to be changing daily. So stay tuned to the site. We'll let you know who's going to be out there. A Florida teacher has been arrested after exposing himself through the window to guests at the Walt Disney World Dolphin Resort. According to Fox 35 News, Christopher Allen Black was arrested in late February on an indecent exposure charge. Guests at the pool of the Walt Disney World Dolphin saw Allen Black inappropriately touching himself through a second-floor window. They then told the hotel staff. In the arrest report, a witness stated Allen Black was a school teacher and that the situation felt unsafe for children. I would dare say so. Fox 35 confirmed Allen Black is a math teacher at the Douglas Anderson School of the Arts in Jacksonville. Duval County Public Schools told Fox 35 that Allen Black was reassigned to duties without student contact. It's unknown if this is because of the Walt Disney World incident, though. Principal Tina Wilson said in a message to parents that other math teachers would be taking over his classes. It's crazy stuff. And if you thought that story was crazy, wait for the next one. Sensitive content warning for sure. Law enforcement stumbled onto a heartbreaking scene in a hotel room at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. The parents of two minor children were passed out, severely intoxicated, on the bed, and the husband had hit his wife in the face, and the children had witnessed the violence, authorities said. Robert and Janine Pecha of Staten Island, New York, were arrested for third-degree felony child neglect, while Robert was also charged with misdemeanor domestic violence, according to Orange Circuit Court records. Florida Department of Children and Families intervened to take custody of the 5-year-old and the 3-year-old since there were no other family or friends nearby. The Pechas do not have an attorney listed in court records. The arrest happened on February 21st. We're reporting it now because the Orange County Sheriff takes a very long time to release these records for some reason. The couple, married for 12 years, did not have a previously known history of domestic violence, said the report. And when the Sheriff's Department arrived, the couple was passed out on the bed, and in the bathroom was a paper shopping bag filled with empty alcohol cans and bottles. I tapped and shook both of their legs and called out for them to wake up. Attempts were initially unsuccessful. However, with repeated attempts, both subjects began to wake up. It was evident that both Robert and Janine were heavily intoxicated. They had slow responses to verbal questions, slurred speech, and had difficulty walking or standing, the deputy wrote in the report. Janine at one point nearly fell over in the bathroom due to her intoxication. Robert and Janine were asked what was going on, and they both replied nothing. I asked how much alcohol they had each consumed. Robert stated 1 drink, and Janine was adamant that she had consumed no alcohol. They were unaware of how intoxicated they were. The couple claimed they hadn't fought, but the children told law enforcement what happened. The parents had been drinking all day and then got into an argument about Robert not spending enough time with the family. The altercation escalated. One little girl said her father hit her mother, quote, several times in the face with an open hand. The children said again and again, no, Daddy, the report said. It's heartbreaking. Janine was taken to the emergency room for her intoxication. Robert was also treated at the hospital, and they were both taken to jail afterward. Janine did not have an attorney listed in court records, but Robert did, and neither could be reached for comment. Some people have asked why this is news. I think this is very much news, because I think what's not in the report here is why the police ended up at the room. I would assume the people next door called down to the lobby. Not that it goes to the lobby anymore. It gets redirected to the call center, which eventually gets through to where it needs to go. But I would assume that noise complaint is probably what prompted the police to show up, and it was thank God the police did, right? So, I know Walt Disney World, all these places around the world are magical, wonderful places where we make memories and we share wonderful times with our families. That doesn't mean bad things can't happen there, and it's important that it's kind of like the New York motto goes, right? See something, say something. I think it's important to remember that sometimes, because you never know whose life you might help or save in some cases, right? So that's why I think it's important to cover this. I got a couple emails from people that are like, why do you report these things? And well, number one, we have said we will cover whatever happens at the Disney parks around the world. That is good or bad, not just attraction news, but when the real world creeps in, that's falls within our zone of coverage, right? So, it is what it is. I don't particularly like reporting these stories, but I think the moral is important. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and our team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resorts to the Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. And the best part is their concierge services are 100% free, so book today. Pretty proud of myself. I read that all. Most of that was from memory, because I don't really have a teleprompter set up. That was pretty good, I think. Let me know in the comments how you think I did. If you could tell how often I was looking at the screen. The Haunted Mansion construction walls at Disneyland Park have a new interactive experience to keep guests entertained while the ride remains closed. The construction walls have also moved back significantly. The walls were previously very close to the stairs leading down to the rivers of America. This left very little walking space next to the walls. They've been moved back a few yards, opening up the area before Fantasmic returns next month. This provides much more room for crowds in the area. The new experience is near the corner of the construction walls closest to the mansion, next to the portrait gallery. At the corner is the quote, "Now, as they say, look alive," and we'll continue our little tour. There are punny grave markers for Ray Incarnation, "You Are Gone," "I Trudy Departed," and "Rust in Peace," and "I'll Be Back." These are all pulled from the grave markers that were in the Haunted Mansion queue. And when you tap your MagicBand, it will light up purple. The sound of a bird cawing will play, probably a raven, and the tap point will then flash green. The two speakers between the gravestones then play a quick snippet of audio from the mansion, like a sinister laugh or a line from Grim Grinning Ghosts. The construction walls are decorated with Haunted Mansion concept art still. Again, no reopening date given for the Haunted Mansion yet. This is the first ever MagicBand interaction for a construction wall. So this is somewhat historically important. I think it's a cool little thing that someone took the time to be like, hey, it's going to be closed for a while. Can we do something fun? People have these MagicBand Pluses. They should do more, probably. I still think they should do more than they do. I'm not a big fan, but yeah. I think this is cool, though. More of this, please. The Disneyland Railroad Guided Tour and Cultivating the Magic Guided Tour will return to Disneyland in May. Both tours will be available to book starting on April 30th, with tours beginning on May 11th. During the 2-hour Disneyland Railroad Guided Tour, guests learn about Walt Disney's passion for trains. The tour includes a beverage and a pastry, a walking tour of Disneyland Park, a behind-the-scenes look at the Disneyland Park Roundhouse, a ride in the Lily Bell presidential car, and a special keepsake. The Cultivating the Magic Guided Tour immerses guests in the horticulture storytelling of Disneyland. From the Mickey floral at the front of the park to the exotic plants of the Jungle Cruise, guests will learn about how landscaping and plants enhance different areas of the park. Guests will also get a special memento. I am sure you'll be hearing a lot about Bill Evans on that tour. I haven't done either of these. I am so excited these are coming back. I plan on doing both of these, and I've heard good things about both of them in the past. Pricing for the tours has not yet been announced, but theme park admission is not included with the guided tours either. The previously teased Pixar Fest sculpture has been installed in Town Square at Disneyland Park, and another sculpture is also in the works out in the Esplanade between the two parks. The sculpture is currently surrounded by temporary fencing while installation is completed. It's a golden arch with stained glass-like pieces in the Pixar colors of yellow, blue, and red. Part of the sculpture is still covered in black tarp. Characters already revealed include Dory, Nemo, Eve, Wally, Russell, and Doug. More medallions and stars featuring characters will also be installed on this side, and the same character artwork is used on the other decorations throughout Disneyland Resort. The same characters are pictured on the other side of the sculpture. On the opposite side of the tarp is a large 4-pointed star featuring Woody, Buzz, and Jessie from Toy Story. Meanwhile, out in the Esplanade area, blue construction walls surround a new sculpture featuring the blue, red, and yellow Pixar ball, the Luxo ball, some people call it as well. Of course, Pixar Fest will begin this coming Friday officially and run through August 4th. As I told you earlier, we will be there to cover the kickoff. Disney was nice enough to invite us to all the media festivities. It's a 2-day event, so this is a real big deal. So stay tuned for all that. Ahead of the official debut, though, the updated Together Forever fireworks for Pixar Fest have already started performing at Disneyland. Pixar Fest and the official debut, of course, will begin on April 26th. The show hasn't been performed in any form since 2018. Changes include a new Elemental segment featuring Ember and Wade between the Finding Nemo and Inside Out segments, and Luca and Soul are also now included in the show. 2 new segments feature Turning Red, and a car segment has been replaced by Onward. And the finale has a brand new version of You've Got a Friend in Me. They rearranged it. It's new music. Another big change is the post-show, which is brand new. It still features the Barbie exit spiel, but the rest of it has new imagery of Pixar characters projected onto the buildings of Main Street, USA. You can watch our full video of Together Forever right here on our YouTube channel. You can also watch, funny enough, the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge fireworks show was changed to match Together Forever as well. We have that here on the channel as well. Please go check both of those out. I know Arlo fought the crowds to bring you both of those videos. Well, you've heard us talk about renting DVC points through our friends at DVCRentalStore.com. And if you've rented points and gotten a taste of the DVC lifestyle of a Walt Disney World vacation, you might be thinking it's time to jump in and join the club. But did you know that you don't have to pay the price Disney charges for a DVC membership? You can save thousands of dollars when you buy resale contracts. Contact our friends at DVC Resale Market to find out how much you can save. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/WDWNT for more information. I will tell you from personal experience, I own it, the Polynesian. I did not buy from Disney. I paid less than half the price that the people that bought the contract initially paid, and I'm very happy with that. I highly recommend it for a number of reasons, most of them being money. Moving over to Disneyland Paris, guests have been given a new glimpse into the progress being made on the Disney Adventure World expansion at Disneyland Paris. You know, I missed this. I wasn't on the news when they announced this name change. You know, it is fitting, I find, that the worst Disney park in the world will now have the worst name of any of them. I'll go on a rant in a second, don't you worry. The images were shared via the official Walt Disney Imagineering Instagram account and offer a look at the progress being made on all the changes in that park, formerly Walt Disney Studios. In their post, Imagineering shared the following. Exciting work is underway in Paris as Imagineers are bringing to life the new creative vision for Disneyland Paris' second park, soon to be renamed Disney Adventure World. From creating the iconic landmarks of Arendelle to bringing a new spin on Rapunzel's Lantern Festival, our teams are at the forefront of the expansion that will nearly double the footprint of the park. The expansion includes the addition of World of Frozen, that's now the name of that, same as Hong Kong, a Frozen-themed land that will open simultaneously with Disney Adventure World's reimagining. Disneyland Paris has noted that guests will be immersed in the colorful facades of Arendelle, which can be seen in the image you're looking at now. The top portion of the Arendelle Castle is resting on the ground as it awaits installation. This will be very similar to what you saw in Hong Kong. We have a number of videos of World of Frozen in Hong Kong you can watch here on the channel. This will be almost the same, just minus the roller coaster. There's also a new look at the ride vehicles for the Rapunzel Tangled Spin, which would be Rapunzel's Tangled Spin in English. The Tangled-themed attraction coming to Disney Adventure World shows the interior of the boat vehicles for the spinning ride. The central disc that guests will use to manually spin their boats has the sun symbol for the Kingdom of Corona at the center. And a large marquee will welcome guests at the front of Disney Adventure World in what will be the movie theater-style entrance of World Premiere. It's the land. It replaces Studio One and acts as a portal to the different adventure worlds the park has to offer. The marquee in its final form will read Disney Theater World Premiere. Guests entering under the marquee will be met with a modern, open-air style movie studio in Hollywood. Sure. You know what doesn't make sense to me? What doesn't make sense to me is retheming a park from a movie park, but leaning into the movie studio thing still in the front. Why are we changing the name then? why even bother? I don't understand this. Look, that's the worst Disney park in the world, probably. I mean, I dislike Shanghai more, but that's a different story. Uh, there are a lot of things I like about that park, though. The design is not one of them, but I mean, the shows in that park are second to none. When they've had the drone show in that park, it's phenomenal. I like their Tower Terror since the update. There was a lot of good in that park, right? And World of Frozen will be. Like, we've seen the new version of Frozen Ever After. That'll be very pretty. That'll be a nice change of pace there. I'm sure the Rapunzel area and these little gardens and things will be very pretty. This name change is nonsense. It's a terrible name. Look, I get it, right? Like, English is not a lot of the guests visiting there, that's not their first language, right? Obviously the British guests, sure, but a vast majority, it's not their first language, and I think they picked a bunch of buzzwords that people that visit those parks reacted to, not the locals and not British guests, but all of the other guests that visit that park, like or visit those parks. And I'm sure they did lots of testing. I'm sure that's what it came back as. But the fact that they still signed off on this name after that boggles the mind. Boggles the mind. And I don't get it, especially because, again, if you're going to lean into a new name and a supposed new theme, then not really retheming the front doesn't fit that. It doesn't make sense, right? If we look at all the other, whatever you want to say about the Epcot expansion and reimagining, either way, they still redid the front. Whether you like it or not, they still said, we have a vision, and we're kind of changing the name of the park by going to all caps again. And they changed the front of the park, which definitely sends a message. When they revamped California Adventure, Buena Vista Street, that changing the entrance of the park to fit the theme of that park and to fit the new vision, they did it, man. It's been done before. And so why, the answer is money, but so why we're even bothering to retheme Studio One when we're not really changing that much the theme up front? I don't understand. It's like, well, it'll be somewhat prettier because it'll be like a garden party in there for a garden party movie premiere. Like, oh, okay. I don't think it does anything. And I'll be honest with you, this is going to be controversial. I don't hate Studio One. I don't think that was the problem with that park. I think the actual entrance up front in front of Studio One is gorgeous. It's very pretty and nice. I think Studio One was fine. The space behind Studio One was the problem. That fake Hollywood Boulevard with the flats and tower there and the Walt statue and those things, that was the problem with the front of the park. Not necessarily, and I know people are going to disagree, but I don't think Studio One was that bad. The rest of that park was way worse. So those are my 2 cents. I don't know if anyone cares, but I just don't get it. Well, let's go to some place where I almost never get to complain about what's happening. Right here at the Tokyo Disney Resort, where in fact the first piece of track has arrived for the brand new Space Mountain. As you know, if you've seen the vlogs or other videos we've done here on the channel, they are currently counting down to the farewell of the original Space Mountain, which has been an attraction located at Tokyo Disneyland since its opening day on April 15th, 1983. It's called The Final Ignition, and the final ignition will happen at the end of July. And then in 2027, we will welcome the new Space Mountain, which is rumored to be called Earthrise, but that's just rumored at this time. The interesting thing about the track on the ground is it's an Intamin piece of track, and it is something from Intamin we haven't really seen. It appears to be an interesting type of drop track. What's really interesting about this is the rumor was that Vekoma was going to be the manufacturer, and the rumor was that it was going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. It's now clearly not going to be because Intamin is making the roller coaster. That being said, this is something from Intamin that, if rumors are to be believed, is something we've never seen before. So this is interesting because OLC typically will like to see a proof of concept in another park first before they buy in. But in this case, that's not happening. They're just going all in on something that hasn't been done, which I applaud. It's very exciting. Again, we await more official details on the new Space Mountain. We do have a while. We still have 3 years even after Space Mountain closes in July, but we are anxiously waiting. I can't wait to see what this thing is. Very excited. For the absolute latest on all these stories and more that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to head to wdwnt.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to all of our WIGS members watching who make this show possible each and every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corilla saying, enjoy the rest of your today, and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.